to another episode of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. I'm Dave Clark. He is Tony Bullen, the open race correspondent of the Racing Post. A good week last week, Tony. Both naps winning, back of the net and all that.
Yeah, back on track, which is always nice. Not massive prices, but gets the job done and keeps the beans on toast on the plate, Dave.
There you go. 2 6 to 4 pokes, both doing the business. Tinfield Tarquin and Droopy's Doris. I'll tell you, there's more of that to come. Stay with us. An action-packed show. Big competitions up and down the country. What we're going to cover, we'll start with the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Kent Derby at Central Park on Saturday night. Star-studded lineup over the four bends there. Then we're going to do the semi-finals of the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Champion Stakes at Romford on Friday night. And then we're going to just chat briefly about the Oaks, the Steel City Cup, look at the outright market, and we'll have a look at a couple of the stars on show in those events as well. Do get involved with us here on the Racing Post YouTube channel. Get into those comments, get stuck in. Hopefully you found a winner or two last week. Who do you fancy outright for any of the competitions? Let us know. Get into the comments, like, comment and subscribe. Right, let's go straight to it then. Central Park on Saturday night. There were one or two notable casualties from the first round, Tony. Most notably, a rough ride for the Derby champion, Droopy's Plunge.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a straightforward assignment, in fairness for him. I mean, again, don't matter how good you are, if you don't get the rub of the green, then you're going to go out at this level of competition. But I think the majority of the cream still rose to the top, and the say still all to play for, really.
Right, well, we've got a short price favourite in the outright market, but we'll get to that. Let's talk the semi-finals then. First of three on Saturday night, live, of course, on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service. Now, I don't think this is going to be in the stream, so you'll have to watch this bookmakers streaming services, and of course, you'll be able to get the replay on the Racing Post app as well. Graham Bet, of course, for all of your replays. 8:19, first semi-final, Central Park, 491 metres. Zenith Imminent on the inside, 5-1. Burrows Charm, 5-2. Zenith Sultan, 100-30. Razzle Dazzle My Way, 4s. Blast Off Kobe, 14s. And Texas Jack at 5-2. Very competitive. He looks a nice dog, the dog in the stripes, though. Tony, one for Richard Rees.
Yeah, only lightly raced has made an impact, and most importantly, has taken a shine to this venue. I think Richard Rees must have cringed when the draws come out, pitching his three hopefuls in the first semi-final. But I think it'll still be all smiles for the Hove handler, Dave. I think this Texas Jack dog can pace up well out wide, and I think if he gets on the bunny, sub 29 seconds might suffice.
Yeah, I agree. 5-2 Texas Jack. Now, we were inundated with messages last week about whose prices are these and where can you find them. As ever, Labrooks and Corals, first out the boxes. Prices are available on their websites. I think there's quite a few sharks sniffing around the Droopy's Doris prices of last week. But yeah, fair play to the lads at Labrooks and Corals. They're pricing up early doors, outright heats. And these semi-finals, so the prices are out there. Myself and Tony going with Texas Jack then in the stripes for the first semi at 5-2. Let's move on to the second semi then. And a belter this one, 8:36 on Saturday night. 8 Jukebox Popper, 20-1. Romeo Alliance, a dual Category 1 champion at 3-1. Konodi Zuma 20s, not so steady, the Juvenile Classic runner-up, 8-1. Bombay Pat, 2-5, the Irish superstar and anti-post favourite. And Cinderella Tell is 20-1 around the outside. We've got to look at Bombay Pat, Tony, a classy sort for Graham Holland. Here he is doing the business in his heat last week. He was out of track 5. Romeo Alliance, who, a lot of people are touting as a Derby dog for next year. Top prospect. He's in good hands, Patrick Janssens. Didn't lay a glove on him at all. 28.83, 5-2, and Razzle Dazzle My Way was your other qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about a dog in Bombay Pat who's been there and worn the T-shirt, Irish Derby finalist, English Derby finalist. Track and Trip was always going to be tailor-made for this type of dog, Dave. Nice run to the turn. He's come away lovely, improved on that prep trial. That's the reason he was installed anti-post favourite ahead of the English Derby champion. He's got it all, this dog, and when he gets on the bunny, he's very tough to pass. I mean, Romeo Lyons, as you touched on, couldn't lay a glove on Bombay Pat, but 3 lengths behind. Can he turn the tables? I don't see any reason why he can. The only problem with this race, I think the Cronody Zuma dog could be a little bit of a hindrance on the run to the turn because he's got a nice bit of sprinting early pace, but I just think Bombay Pat will look after himself and second to third put the race to bed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's going to take some stopping, Bombay Pat. Let's move on to semi-final number 3. Then this is the 854. Shoro Maximus 33s. Headford Dane, another dual Category 1 champion. 8 to 15. Ballyhimmock and Ben 33s. Romeo Tomcat, who of course won the Derby Plate and recently the Yorkshire Derby. Burrows Eclipse 7 to 1. And Chaddy Boy at 12s. Let's have a look then at Headford Dane. This was Heat 3s in Trap 1. Zenith Sultan in 3. Ballyhimmock and Ben in 4, 1-3-4, you finish in order, 28.75. Geez, this dog is going to be a real handful if he starts coming away.
Well, I remember you, before we spoke about this dog on Off the Leash, you said Connections feel they've got a real superstar in the kennel, and that proved to come to fruition in the Monmore Puppy Derby. He then won the Gold Cup, but he's really excelled over a stiffer 4 bends, Dave. He's showing more urgency at the boxes, a nice run to the turn, and he's putting up some very impressive times. I'm really looking forward to this race because you've got the Romeo Tomcat dog who's absolutely flying himself, won the Yorkshire Derby at Doncaster. This could be race on down the back straight, but I just feel that Headford Dane will secure first run and keep his foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, I'm going to be with Headford Dane as well. But is there a case for the prices of the two of them being a little bit closer together here than 8 to 15, 9 to 4?
Yeah, because I mean, the Romeo Tomcat dog, he's a dog that doesn't necessarily have to lead off the front himself. He can come from just off the pace. I mean, they're both in top form, so it's a belter of a semi-final. I couldn't be taking 7 to 4 on Headford Dane, but his recent form suggests that he is the one to beat.
Yeah, very similar types as well. As Tony said, neither really need to lead. It might just be a case of whoever gets first run. But it'd be nice if both get to the final and get to take on Bombay Pat, because then we're going to be set for an absolute belter next week. Right, so 2 votes for Headford Dane there. Just overall as a competition, Tony, we're not going to look at the outright market, but Bombay Pat is going to take some stopping because those 2 dogs, who are probably 2 of, if not the 2 biggest dangers to him, are probably not going to live with him to the corner, are they?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you're talking about Bombay Pat on the bunny. You're going to have to break the clock to probably win the competition if Bombay Pat fronts off. So, yeah, he is a worthy favourite, Bombay Pat.
And Mr. Holland and the Riverside Kennel do not travel to make up the numbers. So they're coming to win the £20,000 top prize there. So that competition is warming up rather nicely. That is Saturday night at Central Park. Right, to Friday night at Romford. 36 became 18. First round of the £20,000 Premier Grand Racing Champion Stakes. Let's have a look at the 3 semis then on Friday. And we will start with semi-final number 1, 8-19. Gary the Arb for Belinda Green is in the form of his life, 8 to 11. Teddy at 10s. Izzy's Tempin 25s. Whitewood Libra 25s. New in Cloud for Mark Wallace, 8 to 1. And Tiffield Tarquin, of course, was my nap last week for Roy Peckham, who did it ever so well on his staying debut. But we are, of course, going to look at Gary the Arb, 34.95 on the clock here, Tony. He was in 2, Righty in 1, New in DJ in 5. The referee could have waved this off at the first bend, this one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at the sprint leg. He's 13.38, which is not commonplace for Gary the Arb. Don't get me wrong, he's got a fast start at his disposal, but he normally comes from just off the pace. He normally sits second or third dog at the winning line first time. Lights out. First knockout punch for Gary the Arb. 11-length victory. Fastest time of the night. Off of that sectional, he was always going to do what he done. And what a joy to Connections. I mean, as I say, he really taken the shine to Track and Trip, and he's got it all.
Yeah, he is a star, absolutely. And, you know, if he went on to win this competition, I don't think he would be out of place as a Cat 1 winner. So, yeah, he's firing on all cylinders at the moment. He's going to take some stopping there. And, you know, it's probably an argument that 8 to 11 is, you know, especially if he comes away like that, it's not a bad price. So he is 8 to 11. Tiffield Tarquin second in at 7 to 4. That is shaping up for a lively first semi-final. Let's move on to the second semi, the 8:36 on Friday night. Righty 9-2 in the red. Droopy's all the way in the blue at 3-1, the Romford Puppy Cup runner-up. Kevin's Rocket 3s, Untold Panga 3s, New in DJ 11-2, and Moving False at 6-1 around the outside. We're going to look at Droopy's all the way, a heat winner, 35.68. Strathrannoch chased that one home. It's 3, 4, and 1. Whitewood Libra in trap 1. Looks a nice type. Still got, stamina to confirm in top class company. But if you finish runner up in a Puppy Cup, Tony, you can run a bit.
Yeah, and the decision to step him up in distance has worked. I mean, I suppose Connections thought we could get jostled about keeping him to 4 bends, and it's the right decision. He's shown the sectionals have been pretty decent. I'd like him to go a little bit lower than he has in the time to confirm that he's going to trade blows with the creme de la creme in time. But at Romford, I've always said it, you don't need to be a 35 dead dog. If you can get off the front and defend the lead, you've always got a chance of winning, and that's exactly what he's done in back-to-back wins over course and distance.
Yep, and he'll look to lead on the inside again. Then he'll have his hand for all, though, because Kevin's Rocket's got early. Untold Panga can bang out. It's a competitive one. Tony, how do you see it?
Yeah, I just think it's a race you could run numerous times and get a different result. I just think the prices are totally wrong about Moving False. I wouldn't want to lay 6-1 about Seamus Carhill's dog. It could get tight on the inside as well. So in a race where I think a case could be made for every single runner, 6-1 Moving False, I made around a 3-7-2 chance myself. I've got to be with 6 price-wise.
Yeah, I like the stripes as well, actually. I thought showed a little bit in defeat in the first round, and he's open to improvement. So, listen, lots going to rest on the start there and who gets the lead. But I think if Moving False could just go round in a pitch, he's got massive middle, and it will be race on. Right, let's move on to the third semi-final. It features the defending champion, and this is the race of the night at Romford on Friday night. This is the 8:54 semi-final number 3 of the Champion Stakes. In the red, 9-2, Fabulous Sonique, the Coronation Cup winner. New Destiny, the aforementioned defending champion, multiple big race winner, and the anti-post jolly 4-6. 2 right 25s, Kilmore Dancer 9-4 is the Birmingham Cup runner-up. Strathrannoch 12s, and Boom Boom Bullet at 50-1. Let's have a look at New Destiny then. Poetry in Motion once again. This was Heat 3, Trap 2, 35-23. Izzy's Tempin in 3. The re-opposing Boom Boom Bullet in 5. You put her up last week, Tony, as the dog to beat. We know what a star she is over the 5.75, and she's not getting any younger, but she's not getting any slower.
No, Trap 1, obviously, massive help being withdrawn. That was the only real goalkeeper for New Destiny, and 17-2 on, didn't need much telling what was going to occur, and she did it well enough. We know she can go a lot quicker overall. 35.03 is highly satisfactory for any dog at Romford anyway, but yeah, she just did what it looked like was on the tin. Obviously, Mark's holding the aces in this race. Fabulous Sonique is a worry, but I just think she's gone off the boil a bit. She's been on the go for a while, Fabulous Sonique, but the pizzazz has just been missing in recent weeks. The only problem is the pizzazz could still beat at the first turn and cause New Destiny a bit of trouble, but we know New Destiny doesn't need to lead outright to win any race, so I do think she's going to book her place in the final.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, the Wallace team have got all the aces there. They've got half the field, and they've got the 3 big runners as well. What I will say is that she's the one out of the 3 that could probably go around in third and still win, isn't she?
She, I mean, the Kilmore Dancer dog, he's always been a pacey dog, and he's just started to click since stepping up to an easy 6 bends, but he's going to have to turn in front of New Destiny for me. As much as he's got the ability to quicken up, she stays extremely strong. It's an interesting race. I think 1's the key to the race in what she does to her kennel mate. If she holds New Destiny up, then obviously Kilmore Dancer, he could use his middle pace to get first run from halfway.
Yeah, interesting one, and that is the 8:54. But sounds like 2 votes for New Destiny?
Yeah.
2 votes for New Destiny it is. Right, they are the semi-finals of the Premier Greyhound Racing Champion Stakes at Romford on Friday night. We'll have a little look now at the outright market for the Oaks and the Steel City Cup. There's not enough hours in the day to go through all the racing. So let's have a look at the betting then for the Oaks. We had the first round, 12 first round heats at Dunstall Park last Friday. We have got the second round heats on this Friday night, again at Dunstall Park, of course. Dribby's Kathleen 4-5 then for Robert Gleeson, still unbeaten. Strike It Sky for Mark Wallace 5-1. Mina Minsk 12s. Fabulous Aria 20s. Ray Bella Bullet 20s. 25s Bar. I think the favourite is going to take some serious stopping here, Tony, from what I've seen. Trainer Robert Gleeson thinks that she'll be even better from the boxes. She's still learning. He was telling me himself that it's very much different to a lot of the boxes they see over in Ireland, the kind of up and over traps that you see at all the Entain tracks, and they've got them in at Dunstall Park. And he thought she's still learning how to break from them, and he did think that she'd break a lot better out the middle as well. But what did you make of her?
Yeah, look, you can't be... Connections would have took what she done before the race. As I say, we're still learning as much about Dunstall Park as the dogs themselves. Yeah. But she's got a draw to overcome. But I just think she's just a league above, really, Dave. And if she stays sound and improves, she's going to take the world a beating without a shadow of a doubt. Again, no juice in the price. I think they was frightened to sort of take the chance and get her in the book. Some of the bookmakers, they priced her up like she had probably won it.
Yeah.
I know I put up Paradise Sky as a big price. That was turned over at 9-2 on in her heat, but she didn't come away. She sort of can trap a lot better than that.
But she qualified. She qualified. That's all that matters. That's the name of the game at this point.
Exactly, and I think you'll see the best of her on Friday. I think Paradise Sky will do the business in the second round. Guaranteed to lead off the front this time around. So I think you'll see a different Paradise Sky, but Kathleen will get all the plaudits and all eyes are on the Irish Raider.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about Dunstall Park last week as being, what we think is going to be a front-runner Raiders track. And I perhaps foolishly put up a couple of strong runners. Make It Me did the business. And he's now 66-1. I think still a big price. I do think the favourite is going to win this competition. So I'm looking for dogs to stay on for sort of second, third. It was fourth at the start. Another one that caught my eye staying on, and of course she's going to stay on because she's been over 8 bends, was Lily's Bullet, who's still out there at 100-1. Stranger things have happened, and a bitch like Lily's Bullet just keeps staying on and getting into the final. Unfortunately, she's in the same heat as Make It Me, but I think that is a 5-runner race now, that heat. So there is hope that maybe if you add Lily's Bullet into the team at 100-1, you might still get a run for your money. So, boringly, I actually think that the favourite is a good thing in this Oaks. But if you're looking for a run for your money, a big price, then 66 Make It Me still appeals to me. I think she's got enough about her over the 4 bends to race prominently enough that her stamina can kick in. And Lily's Bullet, just, going to be looking for the gaps to appear, be motoring from halfway. The each way part of both of those wagers, I think, might be the way to play. Right, there is another big competition that kicked off at Sheffield on Sunday afternoon. Before we get into this, it's decent enough price. I think it's like 11 grand to the winner. I'd love to see more tracks go with what BresBet have tried to do here. So they sponsored the Gym Crack and the Steel City Cup. Obviously, the bonus was there. Wiki Ned won it last year, 10 grand, Tony. But what I liked is that they decided, well, you don't have to win it to bag a bonus as well. If you got to the Gym Crack final and then you get to the Steel City Cup final, we're going to chuck you 2 grand anyway, just for getting to 2 finals. Like that kind of incentive, I'd love to see Romford do that sort of thing for, let's say, the Puppy Cup and then the Golden Sprint.
Yeah, and even like the Champion Stakes, Essex Vars and Coronation Cup. Yeah. I mean, there should be bonuses out there. It is an incentive, as you touched on. And it's not only an incentive, Dave, it's an achievement from the dogs to do that, yeah, to get to the finals of the Puppy and then train on and get to the final of an all-aged event. So, yeah, fair play to BresBet for doing that.
Yeah, well, of course, Nick Bratton, Mr. BresBet, and Carl Perry, their head of trading, are very much Greyhound men, owner and trainer previously. So, they continue to support the sport, and fair play to them. It got underway on Sunday afternoon. We're going to show you a bit of action here. We're going to show you Romeo Still, the class out, the anti-post favourite. Recently landed the East Anglian Derby at Yarmouth. This was him here, 28.73 out of trap 2. Timmy's Hunter in the 6. Katunda Kieran in the 5. This dog is just a ball of speed, isn't he? Just electric to the corner.
Yeah, what he's doing nowadays, though, he's staying a lot better as well. And that's why he's become the monster that he has in recent times, Dave. Beforehand, you felt he was a bit vulnerable to a stronger runner. This is tailor-made for him, Sheffield, because where you're on the turn, it's difficult to pass the front runners in any case, especially a dog in form like Romeo Still. I think the draws worked out well for Patrick Jansen's charge. He's in the second semi-final. I mean, Chelm's Bear narrowly set the standard in the first round, but it did open up for him off the second bend. He's got Romeo Ability, Droopy's Trade, Toddy's Tank, Jack Tab and Chief in his semi-final. So he's going to probably have a few sort of, could be crowd city for Chelm's Bear. Whereas I just think Romeo Still, it'll be good night on the inside and he'll head into the final with all the momentum.
Yeah, and that is why they are, I think, 15-8 and 3-1. Let's have a look at the outright book. Romeo Still is 15-8. Chelm's Bear's 3-1. You know, as Tony rightly said, you know, Chelm's Bear's absolutely flying. 11-2 Romeo Ability, 17-2 Droopy's Trade, 12's Toddy's Tank, and 20's Bar. It was a good afternoon for Tom Hill. Bonnie's Toddy's Tank is in there at 12. He had a few winners on the card. But we're looking at them here 15-8 and 3-1 because of, you know, the distribution of the draw, how it's worked out.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, that third semi-final, again, you've got to take into account it's only first two to qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is key. So you're going to lose 4 from that third semi-final, whereas Romeo Still, and I think the thing with the Romeo Still dog, it doesn't matter if you put him out in 4-5, he's got the early pace to overcome the draw. And that's the reason why he's a worthy favourite.
Yeah, do you know what? I know it's boring because I've said I think Droopy's Kathleen is going to win the Oaks, but I don't think there's too much wrong with 15-8, 2-1 Romeo Still because we think he's going to be a very short price for his semi. So he's in the final. And like you said, the draw's not really going to be an issue. So you'd be sitting on him 15-8 to make the bend in the final, basically. I'd love to see Chelm's Bear get to the final as well. Because it will be a classic case of catch me if you can. And trainer Craig Morris is really getting a tune out of Chelm's Bear, isn't he? You don't see many dogs leave Patrick Jansen's kennel and hold their form. And this dog, we knew he was top class, and he still looks top class now.
Yeah, he does. When he gets racing room, he's always been a dog to be fearful of because when he gets in full flight, he really covers the ground. It opened up for him in the first round. Is it guaranteed to do that on Sunday? And I've seen dogs at Sheffield, they're travelling with a double handful, Dave, and you've got a wall of dogs in front of you and they're having to check their stride. And Chelm's Bear, unfortunately, if he has to continue to check his stride, it takes you a little bit of a while to get back into momentum, and it could be sort of like frustrating when you've got a dog like Chelm's Bear. You're thinking, what if only the gap would have opened up? But Sheffield's that type of venue.
Yeah, well, you've called it on a number of occasions crowd city. So, listen, we want to see the fastest dogs in the final. So I'm hoping that he qualifies. And it will be, catch me if you can. Romeo's still in that final off the front. Can Chelm's Bear turn near him and try and fetch him in? That would be an absolute spectacle. Semi-finals on Sunday then at Sheffield. Right then, it is that time. Both Naps doing the business last week, Tony, so I think we can say we're in good form. I'll let you have the honour this week. We have got top-class action everywhere you look this week. On Friday night, we've got Dunstall Park and Romford with the Oaks and Champion Stakes. Saturday night, the Kent Derby. Sunday, the Steel City Cup. Where's the best bet, though?
I've got to be with 6-1 moving force. It wouldn't surprise me if he went off favourite in this second semi-final, Dave. It'd probably be 11-4, 3 to field, but he just can't be 6-1. If you run the race numerous times, he'd win it 1 out of 5. So I've got to be with him at 6-1. The inside could get tight. He's got a nice bit of middle pace. He runs the track well. It's a no-brainer for me. If he was a 3-1 chance, he would have been me tip, but I wouldn't have made him me nap. But 6-1, I've got to be playing.
Plenty of juice. He goes in the 8:36 at Romford. Then it's one of the semi-finals of the Premier Greyhound Racing Champion Stakes. So I'm going to go to Romford as well. This heats of a standard competition on the card. And I thought Pavilion Team ran well in defeat last week. Now, he's a dog that he might take a step inside, which is a bit of a negative. But if he can come away racing, I think there's going to be a little bit of crowding on the inside as well. And he's a dog that stayed on strongly last time. I think he might go around in front here, or at least go around in second, in which case I think he's going to be a real handful. So I'm going to go with Pavilion Team in the 7-11 at Romford on Friday night. So both selections at Romford on Friday, of course, live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service. Right, that is it then, Tony, for another show. Episode 76 is wrapped up. It's just next week's going to be even crazier because all these competitions, bar in the Oaks, there's going to be finals.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, like, a little bit too congested. Maybe someone at the GBGB can sit down and try and create a calendar that's not as congested. But look, these events are taking place. I'd rather have a congested calendar without events going, oh, look, that was a shame. No Steel City Cup. They are taking place.
Yeah, well, exactly that. You'd rather have an embarrassment of riches than be scratching around looking for these big competitions. Good prize money up for grabs as well. 20 grand to the winner in all the PGR backed competitions, and you'll be able to watch all the action, of course, live on the PGR service. The link to the stream will be in the description below. It's been an absolute pleasure as ever, Tony. You out there, enjoy your ground racing, gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next time.